Let's take a look at the upcoming new moon in Pisces this week on Wednesday, March 18th. We have a new moon at 28 degrees Pisces. This Pisces new moon completes the moon cycle that began with the Aquarius solar eclipse at 28 degrees Aquarius. So we have that Pisces energy of completion, of surrender, and especially at late Pisces, really a deeper, profound sense of letting go. Let's take a deeper look today. I am Marina Orms here with your Astro perspective. I'm actually posting this on March 15th, but we are taking a look at a little bit more perspective at the upcoming new moon. So with Pisces new moon, this is really a fascinating set of energies. So we've got the sun and moon at 28 degrees Pisces. Remember, the zodiac ends with the sign of Pisces, and each sign has 30 degrees. So at 28 degrees, that sun and moon is very close to the end of the zodiac, not just the sign Pisces, but the zodiac wheel and all of the signs. So we also have during this new moon Saturn and Neptune together at 1 degree for Neptune and 3 degrees for Saturn. Aries. And Aries is the beginning of the zodiac. So that very beginning, new, brand new energy vibe. And of course, Saturn beginning to move away from Neptune now after their exact conjunction on February 20th. But they are still very close. They are still very much merged in their energies. And when two planets come together, they're not separate. They are no longer sort of distinguishable. Their energies merge. Their influence on one another is so strong that you can't really talk about one without talking about the influence that the other has on it. And that's, of course, exactly what happens during a new moon. A new moon is when the sun and moon come together in a conjunction. And the moon representing our hearts and the sun representing our minds, our outer self, how we are seen in the world, the shape that we take in this life. And then, of course, the moon representing that deeper part of what we experience internally that is not necessarily seen. So the heart and mind come together, they merge during a new moon. They become indistinguishable. Their energies are so strong in terms of how they influence one another that you can't talk about the mind without talking about how the heart impacts it, and you can't talk about the heart without talking about its connection to the mind. So that's really pretty profound and fascinating, just as sort of a baseline thing to know about any new moon. It's when the heart and mind come together. And then, of course, energies of Saturn and Neptune coming together, which are now beginning their process of moving apart very slowly. But Saturn and Neptune, concrete reality together with dreams and imagination and infinite potential. So concrete reality can't be discussed with their conjunction unless you are talking about how it is impacted by our dreams, our imagination, the bigger picture of meaning, and what our hearts desire, and what we feel on those bigger picture levels that we can't put into words. So we can't talk about ordinary, concrete, tangible reality without bringing in that component of the bigger picture of our heart's desires, our dreams, and what we can imagine, and vice versa. You also cannot talk about your Neptunian dreams, your imagination, your heart's desires, the bigger picture of meaning without thinking about how you are going to make that concrete, tangible, how you are going to bring it into being. So we've got these two conjunctions We have also over the weekend had another conjunction, which is between Mars and Mercury retrograde in Pisces. And so, we're also experiencing that conjunction, which is the energy of the warrior. Mars, action, courage, coming together with Mercury, communication, thinking, ideas, and thought processes, information, and how we process it. But of course, Mercury is retrograde. So our information processing is inward, but we also have that need to move, take action, find our courage based on our deeper thoughts, our deeper beliefs, our deeper process of understanding, and finding the courage to bring our voice, that deeper, more true, more authentic voice, to the forefront. Okay, so that was a little bit of a tangent there, but I think it's really interesting to talk about this energy of conjunctions as we are really feeling this around, especially this new moon in Pisces. So, so not only do we have these sort of three, various phases of conjunct pairs of planets, but we also have this Pisces new moon completing the Aquarius moon cycle that began with an eclipse that was so potent and really opening the door for us to see on deeper levels what it means to be authentic, what it feels like to be free, how we manifest breakthroughs, and how the shakeup and uncertainty of what is changing can be both, of course, a loss and an opportunity. And so, in the disruption, in the uncertainty, we need to find that bigger picture of truth. What matters? What do we care about? What's worth fighting for? And as we do those work on that level of trying to find that bigger picture of truth and authenticity, and how the new information that is surfacing needs to be integrated, made sense of, and eventually acted upon. So we're doing that information processing with Mercury retrograde and Uranus, of course, still in Taurus. So Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, in that sign of Taurus, of values, of groundedness, of reality. And so themes of how reality is changing, what we want reality to be, and how that awakens our own sense of self, of identity, of authenticity, to move in the world in ways that help us to construct reality the way we want it to be. So, those are some of the themes of the moon cycle we are completing. And of course, the Pisces new moon is also a beginning. So it's an ending of the previous moon cycle and the beginning of the next moon cycle. So, with the energy of the Pisces new moon at 28 degrees Pisces, we are invited to transcend, to to ask ourselves, what must we let go of? What must we release? What no longer serves us on the next phase of the journey? And so, as we have done that deeper work of Aquarius to connect with our true, authentic selves and process information and ask ourselves, what does that mean for me? Now, with the Pisces moon cycle, we will be asked, in order to be that more true, authentic self, in order to live according to your ideals, your principles, your vision for the future of what you want to see, what do you need to feel grieve, release, let go of, allow, in order for that next way of being, moving, acting, finding your truth as it emerges in the world, to make space for that. So by the end of this Pisces moon cycle, the next new moon will be the Aries new moon, and that is on April 17th. And so by mid-April, all of these planets, Mars, Mercury, Mercury's going to station direct on the day of the equinox when the sun goes into Aries. That's on the 20th. And then Mercury will then make its way going direct through through Pisces, eventually to reach Aries. And so by mid-April, both Mars and Mercury will be in Aries. We will have no planets remaining in Pisces. And Pisces is the end of the zodiac and Aries is the beginning. So we will have shifted from endings to beginnings, even though with this new moon in Pisces, we are straddling. Like I said, we are straddling the ending and the beginning. And in fact, if you look at the midpoint, which is always kind of interesting, like to see where is the middle between these two planets. So if you look at the midpoint between the sun and moon during the exact new moon and at 28.5 degrees Pisces, and then Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, just past 1.5 degrees Aries. So each sort of about 1.5 degrees on either side of this point. We call it a point, right? It's not an on and off switch, but it does create a shift. And so right around this point, each of these energies, potent energies on either side of this new beginning point of 0 degrees, 0 minutes, Aries. And that is where the pure essence becomes embodied. And so in Pisces, we are connecting with that pure essence by releasing the trappings, the constructs, the shells the behaviors and patterns and habits and all the things that we have created to hold who we are. And then in Pisces, we bit by bit, right? We shed all of that. We release it to say what is really true, what is really important, what is that bigger picture of truth, what matters when I've released all of the trappings, all of the constructs, all of the habits and patterns that I have created to hold my way of being in the world. So we have an invitation. We don't release everything, obviously we remain ourselves, but we do have that opportunity to say, okay, what is no longer fitting, like when clothes no longer fit, or they don't feel like that style is right anymore for me, for who I'm becoming. So it's like, what in your life just doesn't fit anymore, just isn't you, doesn't represent who you are becoming. So in Pisces, we release those things that no longer fit or no longer make sense with who we're becoming in order to connect with that bigger essence. We transcend, right? We transcend the trappings and we connect with the bigger spiritual truth and the essence. And then when we cross that point of 0 degrees, 0 minutes Aries into Aries, we take that essence and we re-embody it. We embody in new ways. We embody as who we are becoming. So it's a new sense of self. It's a fresh start. It's a new beginning. Again, you get to stay who you are, and the things that you like, the things that you want, the things you say, oh, I've been doing this amazing work on myself, and I love it and it feels great. Keep that. Like that gets to go with you. But if there's anything that you feel like, I don't think that goes with me where I'm heading. I don't think that fits anymore. It just seems to be weighing me down. Those are the things that this new moon is the perfect opportunity to release. So there may be, again, there may very well be some feelings, some big feelings as we process that need to let go. So there could be grief. There could be other emotions, sadness, anger, anything that helps you in that process to come into alignment with that higher truth of who you are and to feel, because some part of the work is feeling work. So to feel what we need to feel to allow those energies to move, just like the river is trying to get to the sea, right? You can dam it up, but it sure still wants to get there, right? And it's going to find a way. So if we let those feelings flow, it helps us get to the sea, and it helps us get to what we are becoming and to that next phase where we get to create on purpose. And by mid-April, we have all of that green light, go, Aries energy, action, movement, put it in motion. Like, here I am, that energy of emergence. And so this new moon is the opportunity before that begins to feel what you feel and release what it is time to release, and allow yourself to change in the ways you need to change. So letting go, trusting, that bigger picture of trust in the process, in what is unfolding, in what is moving through you, and let it hold you, let it carry you, let it support you, let yourself dissolve and rest in the arms of this bigger picture of truth, of allowing. And you can say, look, I have these energies. I have this old worn out sofa in my house, and these clothes that don't fit anymore, and these things that just don't represent me anymore, and these habits and routines even that aren't going to be the best choices to support me where I want to go. So allowing those things to naturally shed and move on and go to a better home and be recycled. And right, it's just time for energy to move on, and you need to move on maybe into the next phase of your journey. So some food for thought, some things to consider, and hopefully just a sense of the wonder and just amazing qualities. I'm only, of course, talking about the things that stand out to me about this new moon, but I think it's a great place to start. And thank you for being here. I'm Marina Orm. Stay tuned. I am working on more to share with you. Transformationalastrology.com. I now have a preview of all of the guest speakers from the Emergence series. So just really powerful. And it's a 15-minute video. You can see all of the speakers and hear a little excerpt from each of their talks. I really love this. So hopefully you have either had a chance already to watch that 15-minute video, or you can make some time and just get a sense of what is included in the Emergence guest speaker series, why it is so potent, the times we are in. And of course, it was February 20th, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, but this is going to be with us for the next few decades. So absolutely, these talks are still relevant and really good to come back to as you move through what is to come. So Emergence guest speaker series, all the videos available at transformationalastrology.com. Grab a free account there to be notified of future events and things I'm going to be releasing in the coming days. Maybe at least once Mercury goes direct, but soon here. So thanks for being here. I'm Marina Orms. Thank you for subscribing to this YouTube channel and all of your support. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.